Honestly, probably the first time that I can't even be bothered to give my opinion on the scorecards because I'm just blown away by what Conor Benn did tonight. Respect to Eubank. I mean, he was incredibly tough as well, but I just can't believe the heart and guts. I've never seen a fighter dig in that situation.
Really good fight. I think it was a lot closer than what it was. Commend Conor Benn immensely because he put on an amazing performance.
I don't think people put enough credit on the boxing ability, for me. Doing 10 rounds, doing 12 rounds, I'm well conditioned.
I'm so impressed by Conor Benn's performance tonight that I can't even bother to comment on the scorecards. He was extremely tough too, but I just can't believe the heart and guts. It was a really good fight, and I think it was much closer than it was. I think Conor Benn deserves a lot of credit for his amazing performance, and I'm well conditioned. The highly anticipated fight between Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn has sparked a firestorm in the boxing community after Eubank Jr. won by unanimous decision, with all three judges scoring about 116-112 in Eubank's favor. Despite the unanimous ruling, a number of boxing experts have strongly criticized the judges' scoring, claiming it did not fairly represent the hotly contested character of the bout. Conor Benn.
We have a result in the fight of the night at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The middleweight contest between these two British middleweights.
112, the winner by unanimous decision, Chris Eubank.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard one to swallow, man. Yeah. It's a hard one to swallow. I mean, obviously, I didn't come into the fight thinking it would be that close. I didn't come into the fight to lose. I didn't come in the fight for anything apart from winning. And obviously, it weren't good enough. So I need to do better.
Benn was accused of being unfairly denied a fair outcome because many onlookers believe the performance deserved a tighter score line. This dispute has generated a lot of discussion and demands for increased responsibility and openness in boxing adjudication. We had the outcome of the night's main event at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, a middleweight bout between these two British middleweights, with unanimous decision deciding the winner. Chris Hub, it's difficult to accept, man. I mean, I didn't in the fight expect it to be that close.
Oh my, how good was it, Johnny? Yesterday you did an appeal down the camera to Chris Eubank, and I know you spoke to him this morning just how good it is that he's in the house. He's here with Chris's son.
Anna, seeing these pictures put a lump in my throat. That's a father and son, not a manager and a fighter, not a promoter and a fighter, a father and son. So regardless of what has gone on between them, Chris understands the importance of being here tonight for his son. And that was our conversation, and that was all just to remind him that's your son, regardless.
So you're saying you made the difference, Johnny?
No, just reminding him who he was.
Very quickly, psychologically, Conor Benn is watching on that arrival. What's that going to do? How is that going to get inside his head?
Well, those pictures we saw of Nigel and Conor watching, I am telling you, it's like, uh-oh. It's uh-oh, because now he's got his army.
I mean, the crowd here, when Senior was shown, they went wild.
And I didn't enter with the intention of losing. I entered with the intention of winning. And obviously that wasn't good enough. So I need to improve after Eubank Jr. and Oz's unanimous decision. Triumph, with each of the three judges awarding him the victory. The bout, which took place at London's Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and was rich in history as it reignited the legendary rivalry between their fathers, Chris Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn, from the 1990s, has drawn harsh criticism from a number of...
That you were able to take his punches. As you said, you hurt him a few times. He's on his way to the hospital, apparently with a broken jaw. So all of the things that people were saying you couldn't do, you did. What do you think was the margin that actually was difficult for you, or maybe swayed it the other way?
I don't think people put enough credit on the boxing ability, for me. Doing 10 rounds, doing 12 rounds, I'm well conditioned, and I can box. I haven't always got to knock out my opponents. Well, evidently I have, but I mean, I can do 12 rounds.
Boxing professionals who claim that the judges' scoring did not fairly represent the fiercely contested nature of the match. Oh my, it was amazing. Johnny, you made an appeal down the camera to Chris Eubank Jr. yesterday. And I know you spoke to him this morning about how wonderful it is that he's in the house with his sons. Anna, looking at these pictures made me cry because regardless of what has transpired between them, Chris understands the importance of being here tonight for his son. And that was all just a reminder that it's your son and that you made the difference. No, simply psychologically reminding him of who he was. Conor Benn is watching that arrival. What will that do? How will it enter his mind for those photos we saw of Nigel and Conor watching? I'm telling you, it's all because he now has his army. I mean, the audience here went crazy when Senior shows, and the fight intensified as Fatal Fury.
I will be putting a bag on Conor Benn, and here's why. I believe we've seen this type of fight before. The similarities are unreal. 2008. A 29-year-old Manny Pacquiao faced a 35-year-old Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya was the favorite in that fight against Manny Pacquiao because not only was Oscar De La Hoya an experienced and fantastic fighter, he was just naturally the bigger man, and they thought Manny Pacquiao was insane. Chris Eubank Jr., as the bigger man and skilled fighter, people are seeing him as the favorite. And me too, I am predicting a Chris Eubank Jr. win. But where I'm going to put my money is going to be on Conor Benn because of the history, the similarities of what we saw in 2008 with Manny Pacquiao and Oscar De La Hoya. No, Conor Benn is no Manny Pacquiao, but don't get it confused. Chris Eubank Jr. is definitely no Oscar De La Hoya.
Which was originally planned for October 2022, but was postponed after thorough investigation because Benn failed a drug test for clomiphene, a prohibited substance. The World Boxing Council cleared Benn, and the fight was rescheduled for April 26, 2025, in London's Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 65,000 people turn up to see the Eubank Benn legacy continue. You mentioned that you heard him a few times and that you were able to...
Wow, the century, innit? Look at this. Mental. Beautiful.
Only boxing does this?
I don't know about that. I reckon football does. It's just football stadium, isn't it? So, yeah.
We're all on the pitch today. Talk us through what you feel about the Benn Eubank fight. Talk us through what you feel about it.
I don't know, man. I love them both, man. I don't even want to see anyone lose, man. Watching what Junior's had to go through, like with the hydration and all that, it's really interesting, man. I just hope he's well. And there's a rematch clause anyway, I heard anyway. So yeah, we'll back
to a controversial split points decision, okay. And then they'll do it again.
All right. That's all right. It sounds like it's already written then, innit? I don't know. Yeah, man. It's good to be here though, man. Good.
It's always great to have you at the boxing. Thank you, Dizzy Rascal.
His punches. He is reportedly headed to the hospital with a broken jaw. So you did all the things that people said you couldn't do. What do you think was the margin that made it difficult for you, or perhaps swayed it the other way? I don't think people give enough credit to my boxing ability. So I'm well-conditioned and can box. I haven't always had to knock out my opponents, but I can do 12 rounds. There have been analogies made between the 2000...
Emotional, that?
Yeah, I'm just so proud of him, honestly. It's probably the first time that I can't even be bothered to give my opinion on the scorecards because I'm just blown away by what Conor Benn did tonight. Respect to Eubank. I mean, he was incredibly tough as well, but I just can't believe the heart and guts. I've never seen a fighter dig in that situation with the size of that challenge, literally, and just never stop trying to win. Like even in the 11th and 12th round when he had nothing else.
8 dream match between Manny Pacquiao and Oscar De La Hoya, and the latest matchup between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. despite worries about the size difference. Manny Pacquiao, the current WBC lightweight champion, stepped up 2 weight classes.
Chris Eubank Jr. is very, very dangerous with that right hand, and that right uppercut that he throws is a lethal shot as well. If Conor comes in square with that, it may be his own undoing. So all Eubank's got to do is just hold his ground, let him come, create the space a little bit, and that's probably, he hasn't got to go looking for him.
Again, it's down to levels. I just feel that Eubanks has boxed at a higher level. He's boxed DeGale, he's boxed George Groves, he's boxed Billy Joe Saunders. All right, he's come up short, but he's had that experience. There isn't anybody on Conor Benn's resume that you could even suggest has been anywhere near of that sort of calibre of boxer, and he knows his way around the ring, so providing he's not weight...
Algieri was a good fighter, wasn't he?
Excuse me?
Algieri was a good fighter.
Yeah, I'd probably beat Algieri. You know, I'm not really.
You're a
I'm not,
three-weight world
I'm not-
champion.
I'm not really buying into that. Sorry, I just think he's quite ordinary in the bigger picture.
He was at the end of his career anyway, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he was at the end of his career.
To compete against 6th Division World Champion Oscar de la Hoya. In a similar vein, Conor Benn, a welterweight by trade, stepped up to fight middleweight Chris Eubank Jr. despite Eubank Jr.'s size and experience advantage. Pacquiao's speed and accuracy overpowered de la Hoya, resulting in a technical knockout. When de la Hoya's corner stopped the fight before the 9th round, Benn gave an amazing effort that demonstrated his strength and fortitude. I'm going to put a bag on Conor Benn, and here's why I think this kind of battle is...
Staying on the Sun now, mate, did you see that he paid all the undercard fighters from back in 2022 when the
Trust
first
me.
fight was actually cancelled? Do you think that mugged Eddie off a little bit?
Mugged him off, mugged everybody off. Because what Chris did, when he mentioned it in the last press conference, I thought, why is that just slid on the radar? Why does nobody make a big deal of that?
It was a class touch,
That's
man.
a massive touch.
Yeah.
And so all of the promoters, all of them, all of the promoters that are out there, and all of the guys that have got the big bucks, and they're on the top of the card, and the fight starts falling through. What Chris Eubank Jr. did, to me, was commendable. Because I've been one of those fighters that's turned up for a fight and the fight's been off the night before, and you think everybody's on AJ money. Not everybody's on AJ money. You know, 5% of the fighters are on mad money. 95% of them fighters have to subsidise their career with a second job. So Chris doing that, he's basically saying, Eddie, Conor, come on, step up. These guys all with some developed amnesia. They've gotten deaf and they've forgotten, thinking, Anna. And it's up to the press and the public to put them under pressure and say, shame on you. If he can do it, why are you not doing it? If you love our sport so much, if you care for the fight so much, why are you're not doing it? So when he did it, I'm like, you know what? That's a proper drop the mic.
Already happened. The parallels are unbelievable. In 2008, Manny Pacquiao, then 29 years old, challenged Oscar de la Hoya at 35. Oscar de la Hoya was the favorite in that fight against Manny Pacquiao because, in addition to being an accomplished and great fighter, he was also the bigger man by nature, and they believed that Pacquiao was crazy. Chris Eubank Jr. is the bigger man and more experienced fighter.